Hello, my stamping friends. Patty Edwards here with Why Stamp with Patty. And today I'm really excited about some new online exclusive products that will be released this week on July 1st. Now, usually I try not to show stuff that you can't order right away, but I wanted to give you a little heads up on these products because the one that I'm featuring today, I really feel is going to be uh, very popular. So you know what happens when something's popular. It can go on back order and not be available, but they'll get more in. And I wanted to also let you know that I am doing a kit to go class. And this class, since I wanted to kind of see, product availability, I didn't include products. So it's just going to be a kit to go where you can either pay for the kit or get it free with an order on my online store. And, who knows, maybe I'll offer it, if the product doesn't go out of stock, I might order it with, product included. Anyway, this suite that I'm featuring is called Violet Dreams. And I'm excited because, July, can you believe the year is half over with already? And the holidays will be here before we know it. So in this release, there's also some Christmas stamp sets. There's a suite, and then there's some bundles. And I'm also going to offer some Stamp-A-Stacks. If you're not familiar with that, that just means you're going to make 4 cards of 3 different designs. And then you got a head start on your holiday card making. And, I always say every year I'm going to start earlier, and then before I know it, it's December 1st, and I'm flying by the seat of my pants. So I'm going to try to help you out this year. And I'm going to be sending out all the details on these classes and so forth in my newsletter on Wednesday when all this is released. So if you haven't signed up for my newsletter, make sure you do. I'll put a link in the comments later. And let's see. Let's just take a little look. This suite has paper, beautiful paper. It has a bundle that has a set and coordinating dies. It has another 12 by 12 specialty series paper. You're going to die when you see it. It's so beautiful. And then it has some adhesive backed blooms and some ribbon. So let's take a closer look at those. So the set itself and the dies are called framed violets. So it has this beautiful scalloped frame. There's this little background dotted stamp. Happy birthday to you. And then there's some violet images, this little foliage piece, take care, sending love, appreciate you. And there is a coordinating die that cuts out this scalloped oval, plus it has another die that cuts out a piece to go on the inside. And then there's a die to cut out this piece and this piece. And then you'll see there's some extra pieces here that cut out some individual leaves, a stem, and this die has 2 flowers that are cut out separately, so you can add them to this little stem. Lots of fun. And let's put that somewhere safe so I can find it when I need it. There's some fresh freesia ribbon, satin ribbon, ties really nice. And there's these adhesive back blooms. Take a little look at those. They're so pretty, and they have a little rhinestone in the middle. You have your gorgeous grape, fresh freesia, and then these are kind of white. And let's see, there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 of each color. So you get 30. They're really cute. Okay, let's set that aside. And then we have the designer series paper. Now, this is called specialty paper because there are 2 sheets that have these little pop-outs. So if you want to make really quick and easy cards, you just pop out these pieces. You have different color of variations of the flowers. You have some hydrangea hue, the fresh freesia, you have that peaceful pine leaves, and then some shades of gorgeous grape. And then there's even some that you can color in yourself. You can design your own, you know, if you don't want to go with this color scheme, you can create your own. And some nice little frame dies. And there you can see that they pop out and you can use the different pieces several different ways. And then you have the paper. So it, of course, has violets, and this has the hydrangea hue vertical stripe, or diagonal stripe, I should say. Here's some more violets, and then it has Secret Sea, where it says some little white polka dots on it. Here's another fresh freesia, simple background, and then on the other side it has these beautiful violet pattern. And today I'm going to be using this stripe, and on the other side of it, it has, of course, more beautiful flowers. And I'm also going to be using a piece of this paper, and on the other side it has Peaceful Pine. And then also in this suite, they have this beautiful, beautiful, I mean, I hope it shows up good. It's shimmering stripes 12 by 12 specialty paper. And you get 4 sheets in the pack. Can you see that it has a stripe and then it shimmers? It's so beautiful. Now, I'm not using this on today's card, but I can guarantee you that at least one of the cards in my kit to go is going to have that on there. All right, so now it's time to get busy and make a card. We are going to start out with, I'm going to use Gorgeous Grape as my card base. And again, this is just a piece of Gorgeous Grape that's cut in half, so it's 5.5 by 8.5. And what we want to do to our card base, I'm going to bring my cutting board in here, my paper trimmer, and we're going to score this at 4 1/4. Use my scoring tool, and then we're going to fold this, and of course make a nice crisp score line with our bone folder. Now this is going to open to the left, and the next thing I want to do is cut a 2-inch piece off of the right side of my front panel. So I'm going to lay this back in here and turn it upside down so that my right panel is now on the left side, and I'm going to line that up at the 2-inch mark, and we're just going to slice that off. So we have now a 2 1/4 inch panel on the front, and our back is intact. Now this piece, we're going to use it, and we're going to score this in half. So this is 5.5 by 2. So the middle of that would be 2 3/8. So we're just going to score that. And now I can get rid of my trimmer, and we'll go ahead and fold this piece in half. Now, I could have told you just to, measure this at 6.5 and score it at 2 1/4, but we need this piece, or we need a piece like it, so it's just kind of convenient. And this piece is going to go in the middle of our inside panel, or the panel that's on the right. And I'm just going to put some adhesive on the back side, and we're just going to line this up with the edge of our card. So the score line will be evenly aligned with the edge of our score. So go ahead and add some adhesive. And oh boy, drop that on there. And I'm just going to kind of eyeball this. I could get kind of picky if I wanted to. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow, I was pretty close. Just needs to go over a smidgen. You know, those were technical terms. And so the important part is you want it lined up evenly. And once you have that on there, it's going to look like this. So you have this little and this. All right, so now we need to cover this up. So I'm going to bring in some more pieces that we have for this card. And we have some basic white. So for our inside panel, it's going to measure 4 by 5 1/4. And this is what we're going to use to cover up what we just adhered. Let's take some glue and let's make sure I get my corners and edges good. And then we're just going to look and make sure we have an even border all the way around. And this is the beginning of our card base. Now, I have a couple other pieces of basic white. I have 2 of them that are 2 3/4 by 4, and those are going to be used, let's bring our dies back in, to cut this oval die. Now, I do want to point out, and I don't know if you can notice it, it's not real noticeable, but this is not a completely straight line. It's a little wavy, so that's the way it's supposed to be. And I'm going to use these 2 pieces of white to cut 2 of these ovals out. And usually when I have a straight edge, I do sometimes cut both of them out at the same time. Just saves time, and you know, but if it's a detailed one, you don't want to do that. So here are the 2 ovals, and let's just see, maybe if I put this on the back of this, if you can tell, it's just, you know, has a little texture to it on the edges. All right, so we have our 2 ovals, and I have another piece of white that we're going to stamp our images on there. And I'm going to stamp this violet image with the leaves on that piece, because we're going to die cut it, so I can stamp a couple things on here. Or, you know, if you're getting your paper scraps out, you might have a piece that you can do these individually on. So go ahead and stamp that image, and on this same piece, I'm going to use my Gorgeous Grape ink pad and stamp the greeting that says, "Happy birthday to you." All right. Now, also with the Gorgeous Grape, I am going to also stamp in Gorgeous Grape the scallop stamp that looks like this, and this is what our white pieces are going to fit in. Now, this stamp doesn't have, you know, this isn't connected. So my suggestion is when you have a stamp like that, it's better to just lay it down on your table and then line it up on your block, because sometimes if you're manhandling it, it gets a little misshaped, and then when you go to try to cut it out, it doesn't line up. So if you have that problem where the die's not lining up, it's not that it doesn't match, it just might be that it went on your block a little crooked. So we're going to take this, and when I have a bigger stamp like this, I like to lay the stamp down and add the ink to the top of it. I can see then that it's evenly inked up, and I have a piece of Gorgeous Grape. So I'm just going to stamp Gorgeous Grape on Gorgeous Grape, and I want to make sure that I put even pressure all the way around that oval so we get a good image. Look at that. So pretty. All right. And I also have another piece, and let's see what these measure. I think like 3.5 by 4 3/4. They just need to be big enough that you can stamp the image and then use this scallop oval to cut this out. And the other thing I noticed, it does have an up and down too. So see how that lines up better. So if you're thinking, it should just line up, but there is a top and a bottom, or a bottom and a top, depending upon which way you stamp it. But see how nice that lines up? And we're going to cut that out, and then we're going to cut a second one out without the image on it on another piece. So, by the magic of TV, I now have both of those scallops, one with the image, one without. And I purposely wanted to show you so you kind of knew what I was talking about. When I tried to put the stamp on the block, this is what happened. It didn't quite line up. So then that's when I just lay the stamp on my table and then put my block on top of it, because then it retains its shape better. And then you get a nice, evenly placed stamp, and it's easy to cut out. All right, let's see what else we need. So right now we have our card base, we have our two ovals, and one of them is going to go on this one, and one is going to go on this one that does not have the frame. And I do want to add some stamping to this one. So let's see, we're going to bring in some fresh freesia, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp. We're going to make this a birthday card, but I'm going to have an inside greeting that says, "Sending love." So I'm just going to ink the sentiment up in the Gorgeous Grape, and hopefully get that centered. But it is a homemade card, so if it's not perfect, it's gonna be okay. Now I'm gonna take my fresh freesia pad, and I'm gonna take this little kind of speckled background stamp and just add a little bit of texture to this oval. And when I'm adding texture, sometimes I stamp full strength, and I'll stamp again, and like this was off the edge, so it's lighter, and I kind of like that effect. Let's see, I want a lighter one up there, and a darker one there, and I think that's enough. It's got a little texture on there, maybe a little bit more. I kind of got carried away with that, but you know, that's random stamping. Sometimes you get it the way you want it. Other times you might get a little carried away, but it looks good. Now we can adhere these ovals to our scallop ovals. So I'm just going to take some of our liquid glue and center this one on the one that does not have the stamped image. This one's going to go on the inside of our card. And then the one that is plain is going to go on the oval that has the image frame on it. All right, now the next step we're going to do is add our designer series paper, or DSP for short. And I have 3 pieces here. They're all the same size, but I have 2 that are the same and 1 that coordinates. So these 2 pieces measure 2 by 5 1/4, and this measures the same. It's going to go on the inside panel of our card base. So we'll go ahead and put this in here, and then always check to make sure when you're adding your designer series paper, I think this is getting empty, that you look to see if it's directional, that you're going the right direction when you're adhering it, because this one does. And our other 2 pieces are going to, one's going to go on this outside panel. So go ahead and add that. You know, I like to get every drop of glue out of here. I think I'm going to have to open a new one though. It's starting to spit and sputter. Alright. So I'll just put this on here so that we have an even border all the way around. And our second piece is going to go on the inside panel, and it's the same size as our white piece, so it's just going to line up on the edges. Let me get a new thing of glue. And we'll adhere that. Ooh, that's much better. So we're not going to have an edge of the white, just the gorgeous grape, because this piece is the same length as our basic white. So that's just going to go in there like that. Now we are ready to attach our circles or ovals. And we want to make sure that we're lining them up exactly the same. One is going to attach to the, we're going to lay them so they're centered, and just look and see how this looks. I'm going to lay that first one. You just kind of want to make sure we have even borders. Okay. Oops. I have the wrong one in the wrong place. This is going to be, the sending love is going to be face down. And then, let's take a look again just to make sure if I got that straight. Because what we can do to attach these, because the one on the bottom, you can put glue, you know, all over it. So you kind of want to get a little close to the edge so that it doesn't come apart. And then we're going to lay this little flap down and attach it to this panel. Then we're going to go back and add some glue, but we want to be careful not to get it out too far because this is going to go on top and we don't want glue on that outside part that's going to show. So we'll just kind of make a little oval drawing here. And these should line up perfectly. So if you kind of take your fingers and go along the edge, that's a good way to get things lined up. Okay. So now, this is going to be our first little flap, and then it's going to open like this. How fun is that? Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so now we're ready to do our oval on the outside. So let's bring back our piece that we stamped our violet image on and our happy birthday to you. I'm going to go ahead and use some of our stamping blends to color this in. And there's not much of a center, so if I wanted to, I could take a little bit. I don't know how much I'll show, but I could take a little daffodil and put a little yellow in the middle. All depends how careful you are when you're coloring in. These are kind of small images, so for the flower, I'm going to take the bullet tip and of the dark marker first and just kind of follow the lines out from the center of each flower. Then I can go back with the lighter color and just kind of lightly blend those together. Now again, the secret to doing blending is to just touch lightly and to kind of use that little sweeping motion. The nice thing is, if you don't get in too big of a hurry, you can always go back and add more color. Now we do have a color lifter that you can take some color off, but don't be, in a hurry to get that color mixed, on your first sweep. You can always go back and add some more. I think that looks good. And now I'm going to take the Peaceful Pine. Let's see. I'm going to take the light one and just fill in my leaves. And I tell you, I'm just like barely touching the paper because the ink does spread and you have a little more control. So this is a darker color, so I'm not going to do too much blending with it. Oh, I got a little green up here. So I'm just taking the light. And now to do my stems, I'm just going to use the bullet tip because I think I have a little more control with that stiffer tip to color in the stems than I do with the paintbrush edge. Then if you want to, you can go back and maybe add some darker lines in the veins to kind of pop those out. And kind of add some color at the base of the flower. And then you can go back with your lighter color and again just kind of do that little feathering motion to bring some of that darker color up into the lighter color. And then there you go. You have your flower colored, and as I showed you earlier, there is a die that cuts this out. And of course, you know me, by the magic of TV, I have one already cut out. And We'll also, this is going to go on the front. I'm going to add just happy birthday. The part, our sentiment has happy birthday to you. And that was kind of big. I mean, I could have cut it out maybe with a die and attached it. But I decided that I wanted to take my paper snips and just cut along the sentiment. Let's see. You can kind of guide your scissors along that edge and just trim excess off of each end. And let's see, we also want to do our little happy here. Let's cut the excess off the end so I don't have to go so far. Trim that, and then there we go. Get these out of the way. Right into the glue that I dropped on the paper earlier. Okay, so we have birthday and happy. And you're like, those are so tiny. How are we going to put them on? I have found the best way to do these little strips, if you have the mini dimensionals, which I love. When you need a mini dimensional, you need a mini dimensional. Or you can cut things apart. But these are just nice and tiny. So when you have small areas, you can just put that little guy on there and you don't have to worry that it's going over the edge. I think I'm going to put another one on the stem here too. And then, you know, the bigger ones are nice for the bigger areas. But on the small mini dimensionals, there's this edge. And you can see it's probably about 1/2 inch thick. See that? Yeah. So the last row, you have this edge. And the nice thing about that is you can just take your scissors and cut. See, I'm going to cut this way first for my happy. And I think this side's going to be long enough for my birthday. So I'm just going to cut a little strip. Now, we do have adhesive strips that you could use. The only thing is they're a little thicker than our dimensionals. So it would really stand up. And if that's the look you want, that's awesome. That works. But I don't want this, you know, going up really high. So I'm just going to turn this over. And with my big fingers, attach this to this tiny little piece of paper. See how easy it is? There we go. And then, where'd my other one go? Turn the happy over. And we'll attach that to the back side of our happy. Now I'm going to take and put a few more of our regular size dimensionals on the back of the flowers and this big leaf. And you know what's coming next. I love my pick tool for taking off the backs of the dimensionals, because they all stay in one place and you can throw them all into the garbage at one time. And we're going to now attach our pretty violet flower. Let me get this out of your way there. To this oval in, and then we're going to put our, see, my fingernails don't work, but my tool works beautifully. This is, I think I use this tool more than anything has a lot of uses. I'm going to put the happy, and then just kind of put the birthday there. And we have a beautiful card, but we have to have a little bit of Pete's Out Easy stuff. So in this case, I'm going to use some of this beautiful Fresh Freesia satin ribbon. It's 1/4 inch. And I'm just going to do my little bunny ears where I make 2 loops, cross one over, and go through the little hole here. And pull it tight. And then you can adjust the size that you want. I tell you, it turns out perfect every time. I love doing the bunny ear technique. Just a little bit smaller. And pull that tight. And that looks beautiful. Now, if I can find, I use these as my ribbon scissors to keep my paper snips nice and sharp. And I think we'll use a little glue dot and just press that into the glue dot. Just add this ribbon right on there. A little tighter. I think we might just trim this one maybe a little bit and kind of stick it behind the birthday. There we go. That's it. It's done. And very, very cute. Now, again, you can write, a message in here. And as usual, if you like to write a lot, you can always put a panel on the back and tell them everything that's happened to you since the last time that you sent them a card. All right. So there we go. We did it. We made a beautiful card. Now, I was telling you earlier that I am going to do a kit to go class with this suite. And this is one of the cards that will be included in the kit. So there's going to be 5 cards. So there'll be 4 more cards that we'll be making. And I'll have a tutorial for you. So I would suggest that you order this bundle like right away because I just have this feeling that it's gonna go on back order. I don't know, maybe it won't. I hope it doesn't. But the DSP, the whole suite, let me look at what the whole suite is. I don't think it's too bad. If you want to get the whole suite where you get the bundle and you save 10% on the bundle, you get the ribbon, the adhesive back dots, and that shimmer stripe paper, it's $95.50. It's so worth it. But if you want to get my Kit to Go class, make sure you at least ordered the bundle, because I'll have all the cardstock and any of the little, extra pieces that you need, the embellishments and ribbon that go on each card. I'll prep that all for you and have it ready to go. But it's so pretty. I just love violets. And here in Nebraska, it just seems like, once spring is over, you can't really keep them around because it just gets too hot and they don't stick around. When I was on the incentive trip, I got a few samples in my card swap, and I wanted to share them with you because they're really beautiful. This one, let's see, Sarah Schuler made. Isn't that beautiful? She embossed in white, the frame on vellum, and embossed on the sentiment, which I believe is in the Winnie the Pooh bundle, and then put some of those beautiful little butterfly accents. This one, Alicia Graham made this one. Again, very beautiful. Used another die from another set, but did add the little floral accent on there and the ribbon. So pretty. And the third one that I got is from Jan Faring. I hope I'm saying those right. So this one used the scallop from another set and then used the DSP. So I'm excited to make some cards and share them with you. I hope that you're having a wonderful day. And remember, all this new fun product comes out Wednesday, July 1st. So, you know, sometimes my friends, they say, oh, it's another flower set. But this one, it's different. We haven't had a violet like this before. And I love this frame. Anytime there's sentiment dies or frames, I have to get them, no matter what. All right. I hope you have a wonderful day. I will talk to you soon. And bye for now.